The officer at the desk was named Sergeant Benson, a man in his early 40s with thick sideburns and a tired look. But he looked at her and asked her to repeat herself again. My husband is missing. His name is Michael James. He came to this town yesterday for an interview. He called me last night, showed me the hotel room. The food menu had the name of the Hotel Sunlight Guest House. But today, they are telling me he was never there. Please, I know what I saw. Something is wrong. Benson frowned. And he hasn't contacted you since last night? No, nothing. Not even a text. All right, we'll look into it. He called 2 younger officers, Corporal Musa and Officer Chucks, and asked them to follow him. They wore plain clothes, grabbed a notepad and a camera, and told Linda to come along as they drove to the guest house. Mama Grace was outside, watering the flowers in front of the guest house when the police van parked by the side. She didn't look surprised. Good afternoon, officers, she said with a soft smile. Sergeant Benson stepped forward. Good afternoon. We received a report. A man named Michael James reportedly lodged here yesterday, but has not been seen since. His wife says she saw this hotel on video call, including the menu. Mama Grace's eyes narrowed slightly. I told her already. No such guest stayed here. Can we see your guest record? She nodded and walked inside, returning with a freshly written logbook. It had only 5 names for yesterday, all false, all fake. Michael's name was not there. Linda burst into tears. He showed me this room. I saw that curtain. I saw that bed frame. He was here. But Mama Grace shook her head calmly. Maybe he showed you a different place. Some hotels look alike. Sergeant Benson scanned the environment. Something didn't feel right. The air was heavy. Too quiet. Too rehearsed. Can we see the exact footage? He asked. Mama Grace paused. Then said, It's not working. We've had power problems. You can check the wires if you like. Officer Chuck stepped out to check the checked box. It had been wiped clean. Benson looked around again. Staff were quiet. Afraid. Eyes darting like trapped animals. Then one of them, a young female cleaner named Ruth, looked up for a second too long. And in that second, Benson saw something: fear, guilt. That night, Ruth couldn't sleep. Her hands still smelled like the detergent she used to scrub the blood off the floor in room 4. She had done it quickly, before dawn. She had seen the man's broken glasses near the pillow. She had looked at his phone before Kenny took it and smashed it. Now the police had come, and the man's wife had cried. And Ruth's stomach twisted like snakes. She had sworn an oath, yes, but she hadn't killed anyone. All she did was clean. Still, the spirits Mama Grace served didn't care. If Ruth opened her mouth, they would come for her. That's what Mama Grace had said. But Ruth was not okay. That night, as she lay in bed in the tiny staff quarters behind the hotel, she whispered a prayer. God, forgive me. I was only trying to feed myself. I didn't know they were killing people. And then she heard it. A knock. Not on the door. Inside her room. She sat up quickly. The room was cold. Her blanket had fallen to the floor. And in the corner, something moved. A shadow, tall, familiar. And then a voice. Healthy, tell her I was here. Ruth screamed. Elsewhere that same night, in her small bedroom back in the city, Linda finally cried herself to sleep. Her children were sleeping next to her. She had kept their father's shirt under their pillow, hoping it would bring comfort. But in her sleep she dreamed. The dream was strange. She was standing in a dark hallway. The doors were all closed. She walked forward, hearing soft whispers. Then one door opened, slowly. Inside she saw a man sitting on the edge of a bed. Michael, she whispered. He looked up. His eyes were red. His body was covered in blood, but his face was calm. Linda, he said. Don't stop. I was there. Room 4. Sunlight Guest House. Trust your eyes. She woke up screaming. Her heart raced. The pillow was wet with tears. She knew it wasn't just a dream. He was trying to reach her. The following day, as the police prepared to write a report, an unexpected visitor came to the station. He was a man in his late 30s. His name was Elijah Thomas. He walked with a limp and had burn scars on one hand. He looked rough, like someone who had seen war. "I heard a man went missing at Sunlight Guest House," he said. Sergeant Benson looked up. "And who are you?" Elijah sat down. "I was one of their guests. 6 years ago." Benson's eyes widened. "What?" "They almost got me. Same way. I was drugged. I woke up half naked in the bush 3 miles away. I went to the police back then, but the report disappeared. Nobody believed me." Benson leaned forward. "Do you have proof?" Elijah raised his sleeve and showed a tattoo of Room 4 he had burned into his arm after surviving. "I swore I'd never forget the room they tried to kill me in." Then he pulled out an old, faded photo. It was of the food menu in the room, the same one Michael had shown Linda on video. Benson stood up immediately. The night after the police visited, the staff of Sunlight Guest House were unusually quiet. Even Kenny, the widow's son, who was always loud and boastful, kept to himself. The fear of exposure hung in the air like thick smoke. But no one was more unsettled than Ruth, the young cleaner. She had joined the hotel staff only 8 months ago. Back then, she was jobless, hungry, and desperate. Mama Grace had offered her a place to stay, food to eat, and a stable job. But she hadn't known that the job would come with blood on her hands. They told her it was just cleansing rituals and that the guests were chosen. But she had cleaned up after those rituals, and what she had seen were not spiritual sacrifices, they were murders. And now, that man, the one who had come in smiling and showing his wife the hotel room on video call, was gone forever. Ruth had scrubbed his blood off the wall. She had seen the broken glasses left on the bedside table before Kenny grabbed them and crushed them. That night, in her tiny room behind the kitchen, she sat on her bed and whispered, "God, please forgive me." A cold wind blew through the closed window. Then, a whisper. "Ruth, Ruth." She looked around, heart pounding. "Help me." She shot up from bed and ran out of the room barefoot, bumping into the cook in the hallway. "You damn mad," the cook barked. I thought I heard something," Ruth stammered, shaking. She couldn't sleep again that night. The ghost of the man Michael James was now whispering her name. Back in her home, Linda wasn't eating. She hadn't bathed. The children were beginning to notice. Her heart felt as if it had stopped beating the night her husband vanished. Each morning, she still sent him a message, "Good morning, my love. Wherever you are, I know you can hear me. Please come home." Her messages never delivered. That night, after putting the kids to sleep, she fell into a restless nap. The moment her eyes shut, she found herself walking in a dimly lit hallway. The walls were cracked. The carpet smelled of blood. She turned a corner and entered a room. There, standing by the bed, was her husband. His face was pale. His shirt was torn. But his eyes were clear. "Linda," he said. She rushed to him, crying. "Where are you?" "What happened?" He held her shoulders and looked her in the eyes. "Room 4. I was there. The guest house. The name you saw was right. They killed me, but I need justice. I can't rest." Then he vanished. She woke up screaming.